Good morning. Today we're going to embark on an intriguing journey into the world of learning and cognition. Transitivity and stimulus equivalence are related concepts within the field of behavioral psychology, but they are not the same. Both play crucial roles in understanding how individuals relate different stimuli to each other, but they operate at different levels of complexity in the learning process. Here's how they differ. Let's start with transitivity. Transitivity is one of the three critical properties, alongside reflexivity and symmetry necessary for establishing stimulus equivalence. It specifically refers to the ability to understand a relationship between two stimuli based on their shared relationship with a third stimulus. Essentially, if stimulus A is related to stimulus B and stimulus B is related to stimulus C, then transitivity allows for the understanding that stimulus A is related to stimulus C, even if this relationship has not been directly taught. Example: if a child learns that mom refers to their mother A equals V, and also learns that a picture shows their mother B equals C, transitivity allows the child to understand that the word mom refers to the person in the picture. A equals C without being directly taught this final relationship. Now, let's dive into stimulus equivalence. It is a broader concept that emerges when individuals demonstrate reflexivity, symmetry, and transitivity among a set of stimuli. It describes a phenomenon where different stimuli are understood to be equivalent or represent the same thing. This understanding leads to the formation of equivalence classes, groups of stimuli, that an individual treats interchangeably because of their learned relationships, not because of any inherent similarity. Look at the equivalence class formation following the example above. If the child additionally understands that the spoken word mom can be written as im, then they can relate all these stimuli, spoken word, picture of mother, and written word interchangeably. They have formed an equivalence class consisting of these stimuli. They understand these different forms represent the same concept of mom, demonstrating stimulus equivalence. Key differences. Transitivity is a specific learning process or property that allows for the derivation of untaught relationships between stimuli. And stimulus equivalence is a broader phenomenon that includes transitivity as one of its necessary components, alongside reflexivity and symmetry, leading to the formation of equivalence classes, where different stimuli are treated as having the same meaning. The outcome of transitivity is the understanding of a new, derived relationship between two stimuli. The outcome of stimulus equivalence is the formation of a set of stimuli that are considered interchangeable in the learner's perception, affecting how they respond to and think about those stimuli. Let's deep dive with more examples. For the friendship connection, imagine you have two friends, Alice and Bob. You know that Alice is friends with Charlie. Alice equals Charlie. You also know that Bob is friends with Charlie. Bob equals Charlie. Even if you've never seen Alice and Bob together, you can deduce that since they both are friends with Charlie, there is a connection between Alice and Bob through Charlie. This is transitivity, making a logical connection or relationship between two things, Alice and Bob, because they both share a relationship with a third thing, Charlie. Now let's say you're having a party and you've decided that all friends of Charlie are invited. Since Alice is friends with Charlie and Bob is friends with Charlie, they're both invited to the party. But more than that, you understand that anyone who is a friend of Alice or a friend of Bob should also be invited because of their connection to Charlie. You've essentially grouped Alice, Bob, and Charlie, and by extension, their friends, into a party invitees category. This group or category, where everyone is connected through their relationship to Charlie, and therefore considered equivalent when it comes to getting an invite, represents stimulus equivalence. Transitivity is like recognizing a direct connection between two people because they share a common friend. It's about linking two specific points through a middle point. Stimulus equivalence is like creating a group chat or a party invite list based on those connections. It's recognizing that because of their shared connections, everyone in this network or group can be treated similarly for a specific purpose, like sending party invites. It's about forming a group where every member is considered equivalent because of their interconnected relationships. For the learning about fruit, imagine you're learning about different fruits. You're told two things: an apple is a type of fruit, apple fruit. 1. A fruit is healthy to eat, fruit equals healthy. 2. Even if nobody specifically tells you that an apple is healthy to eat, you make the connection yourself. If apple equals fruit, and fruit equals healthy, then you understand apple equals healthy. This logical connection you've made is an example of transitivity. You haven't been directly told that apples are healthy, but you figured it out by connecting the dots between what you know about apples and what you know about fruit in general. Now, let's say you learn about more items in a similar way. Bananas are fruit, banana equals fruit. Carrots are vegetables, and like fruit, they are part of a healthy diet. Vegetables equals healthy. Without being directly told so for each item, you start grouping apples, bananas, and carrots together in your mind as healthy things to eat because of what you've learned about fruit and vegetables being healthy. This grouping of apples, bananas, and carrots as healthy things to eat, based on their relationships to the concepts of fruit and health, is an example of stimulus equivalence. You've created a category or class, healthy things to eat, and included different items in it based on your learned associations. Even though nobody sat you down and said, apples, bananas, and carrots are all healthy things to eat all at once. Transitivity is like realizing a friend of your friend could be your friend too, based on individual connections. Stimulus equivalence is like creating a club where everyone is welcome because they share something in common, even if not everyone knows each other directly. You form a broader understanding that groups items or concepts together based on their relationships to each other. Let's use a relatable scenario involving streaming platforms to illustrate the concepts of transitivity and stimulus equivalence with a new example. 1. First learning phase: you learn that The Crown is available on Netflix. The Crown equals Netflix. 2. Second learning phase: you also learn that Netflix offers ad-free streaming. Netflix equals ad-free. Even if nobody explicitly tells you, you conclude that The Crown offers an ad-free viewing experience because it's on Netflix. This is transitivity. You connected The Crown with ad-free through their mutual relationship with Netflix. Now let's expand this scenario. 1. Further learning: along with The Crown, you discover Stranger Things on Netflix and The Mandalorian on Disney+, both platforms known for ad-free streaming. 2. Grouping concept: you start considering The Crown, Stranger Things, and The Mandalorian as part of your high-quality, ad-free entertainment package, even though The Mandalorian is on a different platform but shares the ad-free feature. This is stimulus equivalence. You've grouped shows from different platforms together as high-quality, ad-free entertainment, based on your learned associations with Netflix and Disney Plus being ad-free platforms. Even without direct instruction, you've formed an equivalence class of shows, based on the properties of being high-quality and ad-free, regardless of the specific platform. Transitivity helps you make specific connections, like understanding that The Crown can be watched without ads because it's on Netflix, a platform you know offers ad-free streaming. It's about drawing a specific conclusion based on a series of related learnings. Stimulus equivalence allows you to form broader categories or groups based on shared characteristics or relationships you've learned. In this case, you've created a mental category of high quality and free entertainment, including shows from both Netflix and Disney, based on their shared characteristics, not their specific platform. Let's practice with some mock exams. Mock exam 1. Lucy learns that the word chat in French is bavarder, and that bavarder means to talk. When Lucy hears someone say bavarder, she understands they are referring to a conversation, even though she was never directly taught this relationship. Which concept does Lucy's understanding demonstrate? 1. Stimulus equivalence, because Lucy groups chat, bavarder, and talking into the same category, based on learned relationships. 2. Transitivity, because Lucy directly connects chat with talking through their mutual relationship with bavarder. 3. Reflexivity, because Lucy recognizes bavarder as the same as itself. 4. Symmetry, because Lucy understands the relationship works both ways between chat and bavarder. Correct answer is 2. Transitivity, because Lucy directly connects chat with talking through their mutual relationship with bavarder. Let me explain. This scenario exemplifies transitivity, where Lucy is able to deduce a new relationship, chat equals talking, based on previously learned relationships, chat bavarder and bavarder equals talking, without being explicitly taught the direct relationship between chat and talking. Mock exam 2. During a study on language acquisition, a participant is taught that the symbol represents the word mountain, and that the word mountain can be written as montaña in Spanish. Later, when shown the symbol and asked to select its meaning from a list that includes river, montaña, and cloud, the participant correctly chooses montaña without prior direct instruction, linking triangle symbol to montaña. What concept does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Reflexivity, because the participant recognizes triangle symbol as the same as itself. 2. Symmetry, because the participant understands the bidirectional relationship between triangle symbol and montaña. 3. Transitivity, because the participant deduces the relationship between triangle symbol and montaña through their mutual connection to mountain. 4. Stimulus equivalence, because the participant forms a group of mountain, triangle symbol, and montaña as representing the same concept. Correct answer is 3. Transitivity, because the participant deduces the relationship between triangle symbol and montaña through their mutual connection to mountain. Let me explain. The participant's ability to deduce that triangle symbol represents montaña based on the learned relationships between triangle symbol equals mountain and mountain equals montaña demonstrates transitivity. This is because they have connected two relationships to form a new understanding without direct teaching of that specific pair. Mock exam 3. After learning that pressing a button A results in a green light turning on B, and understanding that the green light B means it's safe to cross the street C, Sarah concludes that pressing the button A means it's safe to cross the street C. Which concept is being demonstrated? 1. Stimulus equivalence, as Sarah groups the button, the green light, and the safety to cross into a single conceptual category. 2. Transitivity, because Sarah connects pressing the button with the safety to cross through their relationship with the green light. 3. Reflexivity, because Sarah sees pressing the button as the same as the action itself. 4. Symmetry, because Sarah understands the relationship between pressing the button and crossing. The street works both ways. Correct answer is 2. Transitivity, because Sarah connects pressing the button with the safety to cross through their relationship with the green light. Let me explain. Sarah's conclusion that pressing the button means it's safe to cross the street. Based on the sequential relationships learned A equals B and B equals C, exemplifies transitivity. She's able to deduce a new relationship E equals C through the chain of learned relationships, even though she was never directly taught that pressing the button indicates it's safe to cross. Mock exam 4. In a language class, Alex is taught that the English word sun is equivalent to the Spanish word sol, E equals B, and separately learns that sol is equivalent to the French word soleil, B equals C. Without further instruction, Alex understands that sun and soleil refer to the same celestial body. What concept does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Reflexivity, as Alex recognizes each word as representing the celestial body itself. 2. Symmetry, because Alex understands the relationship between sun and soleil to be bidirectional. 3. Transitivity, because Alex deduces the relationship between sun and soleil through their mutual connections to sol. 4. Stimulus equivalence, because Alex forms an equivalence class among sun, sol, and soleil as representing the same concept. Correct answer is 4. Stimulus equivalence, because Alex forms an equivalence class among sun, sol, and soleil as representing the same concept. Let me explain. This scenario illustrates stimulus equivalence because Alex is able to understand that sun, sol, and soleil are interchangeable representations of the same concept, based on the learned relationships, forming an equivalence class. This goes beyond just connecting two stimuli transitivity. By recognizing a broader conceptual equivalence among multiple stimuli that represent the same thing. Do you understand better? If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Have a nice day.